Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream recap and basically the second part of the maintenance notice. Because of the way Alum is posting information currently, it is kind of difficult. I do want to get the maintenance notice up ahead of time so a lot of people can know about it. However, we're going to talk about everything that happened in the live stream really quickly, as well as some really important information. So first, what did we get for what will be our Mog King this month? Well, I didn't guess it. Because as it turns out, the Type O is back with a vengeance. So here we are going to be talking about the new Type O event, and this event is probably not going to be what a lot of players want to see, because Type O kind of got way too many events back in the day and people got sick and burnt out of it, and now here is another Mog King with it. This could drive people absolutely friggin' insane, but it's not all bad news. For one thing, there's a couple of actual nice pieces of equipment you can get off of this. First of all, a katana that has 75 attack and Man-Eater. That could be really good. That's a decent amount of attack with a killer ability on it. Also, a gun with 60 attack, the ice element, and 10% MP. I actually have to say that's a fairly decent gun to have. Plus the ice element, you never know when it could become very useful. So in general, I really like the equipment from this event. The units, on the other hand, well, some people are going to not be very happy about this, but these is our new group of 4. We have Cater, Deuce, Machina, and Kurasam. Now, first let's start with Cater. She is a support unit, and that's about all that we really need to know. She's a 3 to 5 star, which sucks because she's one of my favorite characters in all of Final Fantasy, and a 3 to 5 star basically kills her usefulness. But her TMR is a 20 attack, 20 magic materia. Good for hybrid units. It's no Hawkeye's materia, but that's a limited time thing and not worth spending your hard-earned resources on. Unless you're a whale, then I don't know. Next up is Deuce. Now, Deuce is a support unit that has songs that do multiple effects, as well as can give a counter to the entire party. So when anyone in the party takes damage, she will counter. Interesting. She's also supposedly described like Roy. She might be an interesting 4 to 6 star song-based unit and buffer unit for brand new players, so I wouldn't knock her too hard just yet. Particularly also because her TMR is kind of amazing. 40% to magic with fire resistance of 50%. I mean, that's just a really solid magic-based materia on a 4-star base, so yeah, Deuce, really awesome. Now, skipping over someone and then coming back to my favorite later. Not my favorite, just my favorite in this batch for probably being useful. Machina. Machina is a unit that not a lot of people super like, and I can understand that. Now, first of all, his TMR is a materia with attack, defense, and magic spirit buff when battles start / get revived. That's interesting for potentially a damage dealer. We'll have to see the percentages on it. It also increases the attack up when using swords and HP and attack with clothes. So it could be a fairly decent materia on this guy, which, honestly, yeah, sure. Now, while a lot of people may not like Machina, his super TMR is kind of amazing. It's a sword with 163 attack and dual wield. Ooh, 163 attack and dual wield. Well, if there's a unit out there that can get any kind of buff from attack, like CG Reagan, well, CG Reagan has dual wield, but maybe Sephiroth, or maybe a whole bunch. This is a really powerful sword with no element, which is kind of nice, that gives dual wield. How to say this, I really like this super TMR, and it's permanently in the pool forever, so you don't need to try super hard for it, you could just potentially get it. Other than that, He's an attacker with dual-wield fire, ice, and wind elements, which aren't bad, and he chains with Reagan and CG Laswell, although it's not wholly explosion chaining, which basically probably kills Machina unless he can get super high attack. We'll have to wait for the stats. And unfortunately, this guy, next guy, will not help you get to that 2650 attack stat that we've been trying to get to, but he potentially is the best unit out of everything here. First of all, Kurosame. Very popular unit, very popular character, I should say, in Type O. And he could be the best here. First of all, we know he's a hybrid attacker. His TMR is an accessory with 50 MP and attack and magic plus 40. That is a base attack and magic stat. And ice resistance of 50%. His TMR is just incredible for any hybrid unit. And he's a hybrid unit, so that's great. But his STMR is potentially just even more amazing. And I assume he would benefit from dual wield, but anyway. Or maybe not. A true dual hand hybrid unit? That might not work. But anyway, his STMR is a 130 attack sword with 162 magic, ice elemental. So it's got an element, which means could be really good. In an ice party, Kurosama is definitely where he belongs, because he is a focus on ice element, and he, I believe, is our first true hybrid unit to get triple cast, but the triple cast is locked behind his limit burst. So you're going to have to be using this guy's limit burst if you want to get the most out of it. But in general, perhaps an interesting banner, perhaps not. It really depends on your interest in it, and we'll have to wait and see the data. And since BlueStacks isn't loading this stupid in-game notice properly, there is a step-up banner. It max 3 rounds, 5,000 lapis per step, 25,000 lapis per lap. So it's really expensive. You get the 10% Trust Moogle on the first one, a guaranteed Deuce on the second one. That name is just going to get me in trouble, isn't it? On the third step, you get a guaranteed 5-star, which is always nice. At step 4, you get 5 times, or 1.5 times a 5-star rate. That's kind of interesting. It's not guaranteed units, it's just 1.5 times the 5-star rate. So rainbow rate up in general is kind of nice. A 10% trust, or 10% rainbow ticket. Sorry, it's late and it's been a long night. And on step 5, of course, you either get a guaranteed Machina or Kurosame. So it could be potentially good if you wanted to get these units, but really, data is going to decide whether these units are any good or not. But I got to admit, with Kurosame and Machina being in the summon pool forever, it's not the worst investment, and step 3 is a guaranteed 5-star, which could be nice, could not be. You guys can decide on this one. Until I see the data, I won't decide. But more importantly is this. This was the big thing of the night, where we cumulatively across the world hit 30 million downloads. So for the month of March, we will be getting a few free things, and I know you guys like free things. First of all, free 11 pulls. You will get 3 free 11 pulls. The first one goes from March 1st to March 9th. The second one goes from March 10th to March 19th. And the third one goes from March 20th to 31st. So make sure you use these up. If you get any rainbow off of at least one of these 3, then you did good. You at least did average for what the percentages say you should get. But hopefully you'll get more. Hopefully I'll get more. I would like a few rainbows. What else? Well, as it turns out, you will be getting a summon ticket per day. So make sure that you are logging in and getting your free tickets. There's no reason to not get those free tickets. That's an extra 31 tickets this month. It's just nice. But the biggest story of the entire night was this, and you may be wondering what it is. Well, it's a lottery where, well, it runs from the 1st of March to the end of March. I don't know why I had to think about that. But by clearing a limited time quest to enter, you are entered into a lottery, and that lottery has a big prize for the first place winner. 1,000,000 Lapis! You could be having an account that you've never had to spend any money on that has 1,000,000 Lapis. You could win 1,000,000 Lapis. That's insane. That would set you up for a good long time, probably. Unless you just spend it all right away, which... Anyway, you would be good for step-ups, you would be good for everything for the longest time. I'm guessing it will be announced in April. Hopefully this isn't an April Fool's joke. Played really early, because the contest does end on March 31st. But anyway, it's not just about the first place, there's also rewards for a lot of other people. For 10 people, you will get 100,000 Lapis. I mean, no complaints, really. For 20 people, they will get 50,000 Lapis. For 30 people, they will get 30,000 Lapis. And for 26,100 people will get 1,000 Lapis. And everyone else will get nothing. But by clearing this quest, which we know nothing about at this point, you will get basically a ticket to be entered into the raffle. Now, it should be noted, at the current time of recording, I haven't looked at the fine print of this, and I'm not even sure anyone's looked at the fine print of this. But there may be something against accounts that are just created right off the bat. So I wouldn't get too excited and go make 100 accounts for this. Also, we don't know how difficult the quest is going to be. It may prevent people who are less than, I don't know, rank 30 from really competing in it. We'll have to wait and see, but there could be limitations on this, which I would expect, because it's not fair for people to just come in, create accounts, never use them, and just try and win. That would be really unfair to everyone who does play the game. So try and be classy. Don't frickin' do that. Like, really, just don't do that. That's pretty douchey. Now, speaking of douchey, and there's my segue in, starting as of March 1st to about the 10th, every day you will get an opportunity to spend 300 Lapis on a bundle with 1 summon ticket and either 10 energy pots or 10 super sites. Don't buy these. The 10 days, 3,000 Lapis, you would be better spending that on the Mog King banner for typo. Trust me, 100%. This is absolute garbage. It's a trap for new players. Do not spend that 300 Lapis on these summon bundles. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad. Next up, we're going to talk about the new trial, which is a freaky going to haunt me in my nightmares tonight trial. And it is against Cabrina, I believe is her name, which could hint that maybe Final Fantasy IV is getting an event in the future. Don't get too excited, don't quote me on that. The reward is an accessory with 50 stat in magic, 30% ice resistance, but drops your confused resistance by 50%. Okay, seems like a fair trade. The accessory may not be a big deal if you got a couple of Freyas off of Valkyrie profile raid the previous month. So this isn't the most essential trial that you need to go through. And speaking of that, first of all, it's a spirit and a demon. It will counter, so you want to hit with one-hit abilities. And it will change forms throughout battle, meaning that probably there are some more mechanics we're not hearing about. But more importantly, apparently the Moogle tells us something interesting. The Moogle on this one tells us that this enemy will not drop Esper Orbs or Limit Burst Stones. So that could make this trial potentially more difficult, especially if it's designed for 7 stars, and it is a 13-star difficulty trial. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see on that one. So yeah, maintenance is from 1 to 5 p.m. But there were a few other things of note from the live stream. First of all, let's talk about the really important thing. We are not getting any story this month on the Japanese side. Now, the reason of this is because one of the main writers got sick and kind of put them behind. As an apology, we will receive 100 energy pots. It's something, but unfortunately we won't get any Lapis this month. Also, there's no new summon battle. That kind of sucks. I was really hoping for either Bahamut or Anima, but I guess Anima and Bahamut will have to wait a little bit longer. Here's hoping next month. I have to admit, I am disappointed about that. But last but not least is, well, okay, there's a couple other things to talk about really quickly. First of all, the arena update tomorrow will update the arena board. Again, might change, might cause some problems, but we'll see. Let's hope for the best. However, we did find out that March 20th there will be a second update, and more importantly, it's a version update, so it's a big one, you guys. First of all, arena will get updated. In Arena, every third week of the month, we'll have special rewards, and we'll talk about that in a second. Every third week, we'll also have special restrictions, like only use female units. That does make Arena potentially more interesting, because right now, everyone knows Arena is just boring as... Anyway, every third week, there will be a reward of a new type of Trust Moogle obtained from turning a unit into a 7-star material. So if you guys know, when you break down a unit to get a 7-star material, you get a Trust Moogle that basically is for that unit's TMR. So you can still, in theory, get 2 TMRs of that unit. But here's the thing about this one. This will allow you to obtain TMRs of units you don't actually have. Like fusing, think about fusing TMs from raids into an empty Moogle. You could get 100% from that TMR even though you don't have the unit. So a blank TMR Moogle is a very interesting thing. I'm curious how the mechanics work of this. But for now, we just have to kind of wait. Now, other than that, there will be the ability to view in-game specific damage percentage, hit counters, and etc. That will all be in the next update. I'm thinking there's going to be some extended maintenance on that day, because that seems like a really, really big update. Now, the only other things to be mentioned is that the our raid challenge rewards will be delivered more normally. They'll probably arrive tomorrow, so expect about 10 tickets in your box tomorrow morning, if not 11. I don't remember what we got. And other than that, there was a thing from the director who said that Axter, as he's known in the global version, Axter in the Japanese version, if you translate it, will be added soon to the game. So it could be that he is our CG unit this month. And while there wasn't any talk of the raid, other games are getting near events. So while I'm not saying that there was any notification that near will be the next raid event, it is a possibility this month. It's basically, I think this month it's either Brave Frontier or near. We'll have to wait and see, but I definitely didn't call the Final Fantasy typo. So some big updates coming this month. A huge, absolutely huge contest. You want to win that Million Lapis. I don't even need to explain that to you, and I shouldn't need to convince you to try for it. Actually, I should try and convince you not to try for it. Don't try for it. I would like to win that Million Lapis, and I do so much hard work. Worth a shot. But anyway, it should be an interesting month in March, if for nothing else for all the free stuff we're getting. And as always, let's hope for some rainbows. So other than that, that's pretty much everything that there is that needed to be said about this month. And I gotta say, oh, that's right, the raid is over. Well, it's going to be a quiet day tomorrow in the Japanese version if there's just nothing to do. Oh, nope, the raid's back. So, that is all for this video. I hope you found it informative and interesting. I might even make a separate video just to talk about that contest, because that contest is super excited once I get some more details about how it goes. So it was an interesting night. It is not bad that we are getting another Type O event. This Type O event has some amazing super TMRs to it, and some really good TMRs too. So we'll see what the data is, and of course you can expect my banner review as soon as we get the data tomorrow, because there's nothing else to do in the Japanese version currently. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. And let's hope for some free rainbows this next month.